Been a guy for a minute, baby, ask around. Ooh, but they don't like me.
I'm gonna keep dropping gunshots and bombs.
Yeah, this guy's out here going nuts right now. The bombs. Holy.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Training Mac Podcast. It's your host, Oxcore Daddy, Direct Poppy, Jameson Poppy, aka Suits and Pants, aka just playing. I'm not in a relationship anymore. Anyway, listen, another week, another episode, of course. We're back in this lovely studio, which I love to shoot from. It's a bit deep, but honestly, man, I really do enjoy just this set and how fun it is to shoot episodes here. So, of course, we have a very special guest on the couch here. We're going to get into our history and how we know each other and what it is that he does. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
I'm an artist. My name is, I go by Lowercase. And, I don't know. I'm an artist. I go by Lowercase. I don't know.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on the show. Yeah, so Lowercase, I don't know. Okay, so he's been supporting the show, obviously, from behind the scenes. We've been talking back and forth via DM about some funny clips, some episodes, some questions we have, whatever. But in terms of how I know him, it's crazy because we actually grew up together. Like, we grew up on the same exact street.
Facts.
We grew up playing ball together and stuff, you know. I niced him up. This guy was like fucking 6'5" in like grade 5, bro. So like, yeah, there's no way I was even trying to, pull any kind of crazy moves. But man, I know this guy for quite some time. In terms of how we reconnected, I don't even know. I think it's through IG probably, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Shout out to the old ROTM account. We're still working to get back there, but yeah, like, when those clips would go, people would share it around, so really appreciated that. But yeah, a lot of new eyes would come like weekly of like, oh shit, this is a new cool podcast, like I'm gonna follow. And then he was one of those people. He's like, oh, I feel like I know this guy.
Yeah,
right? And then I saw him like, yo, I definitely know this guy. He started talking like, what the fuck? Sure. So like we reconnected that way, and then I saw this guy at Apartment 200 too, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Yeah. And then I obviously saw his page. I saw he did music, right? And I'm like, oh, this is fire, right? So.
Appreciate it.
As I was looking, and then he dropped this recent project, the pilot episode.
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, I tuned in immediately, right? And I listened. I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Like it's different when a friend of yours makes music. We got another special guest in the building. I mean, he makes amazing music too. We'll get into that a little bit later. But it's different when you're listening to the music and you're like, what the fuck? And then you know who made this. Mm-hmm. It hits in a different level. So it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, listen, I listened to the project top to bottom like I do with every single project. And of course, I sent him a note. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, who made you? Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why is this so good? Right? So this is kind of why I wanted to have him on the episode, to really just go through this. There's a lot of storytelling that's here, a lot of things I didn't know about that I'm really curious to find out. So yeah, man, welcome to the show, and that's kind of why you're here, right? So the song that we played on the intro, that was Run.
Yes, sir.
Off your is it an album or EP?
Album. I'll say album for sure.
Okay, definitely, because definitely on the EP. This is heavy.
Appreciate it. Yeah, man. That was the intent, to make a solid body of work. I feel like the album I put out before it went by Lowercase, and it was like an 8-song album, and even after that was an actual EP. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like that EP it's called Make That Shit Bang, and I feel like that was like the kind of like the map of like figuring out some of my different sounds that I feel like I kind of got down more now. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, this is definitely a body of work that I've it correlated to the first album I ever made called Auditions. And it just, for me, this I don't know, we're also around the same age. We all come from that era of like bodies of work really being impactful. Mm-hmm. And you know what I mean, like I just remember listening to an album like Good Kid, Mad City, or even going backwards, like Nothing Was the Same, or
oh my god,
like I remember we watched The Throne drop, and we needed to get the bootleg. Like I was on fucking Pirate Bay with my dog, like
RGF.
RGF. You know what I'm saying, like Pirate Bay, like waiting for like at 12 a.m. like just waiting like for till 1 o'clock for the album to drop. Yeah. And it was just a moment in time, bro. You know what I mean? And I feel like nowadays, with this like the abundance of music with streaming, it's just like the life of albums and music is so much more shorter.
100%.
But and I feel like that comes with the streaming and all that, but I also feel like that comes with the fact that people are now trying their best to adjust to the fact that like the music shelf life is shorter. So, you know, people aren't doing as much as they can in terms of like artistically.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't agree more. I think even like, you know, talking about this album, right? Like, how many tracks are there? 14, but it's also 36 minutes. So I feel like that's perfect because you're not getting the 7-track album. You're not getting 30 songs.
Exactly.
This, I feel like, is perfect amount of songs, and also the length is good too. 37 minutes is perfect because you don't even feel it go by. You're like, oh shit, that was really short.
Yeah,
but it's 14 songs.
I didn't even know it was 37 minutes.
Like it's not. It's really good, man. But so when did you start rapping?
Shit, it was off and on. I feel like for me, at like 17, it kind of like the first time I ever recorded something. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I was always interested into like rapping and shit like that. After my mom used to work at Rogers, and she just won some contest at one of her work job things, and she got an iPod Nano. This one, the iPod Nano was fresh, like the red one, bro. It was insane. So she got that, and like around that time, Black Album probably dropped like a year or two after that. So, you know, she was a big Jay-Z fan, and like just, you know, just being a kid, like you're just like, bro, an iPod Nano, like the fuck, like, bro. And she won it, so like I'm like, I know we don't have iPod Nano money to buy iPod Nano.
You don't know how, sorry to cut you off. I know how pissed I was because we had something similar happen in my house too, where my dad won an iPod Nano at work, and he's like, what the fuck is this? Like, which kid wants this? And then my older sister, Jennifer, she won it. He's like, oh, I'll take it. I was cheap, like, you don't even fucking like music, bro. Like, what the fuck is this, right? I was hot for like at least 4 years, but yeah, go on.
Nah, fam, it was crazy. So, you know, after a while, I was just like, yo, like, let me check this out. Like, let me listen to it. And yeah, just going through her music, random shit, One Republic, you know, Shaka Khan, Lauryn Hill, all types of random shit. And then this, I feel like just listening to Jay-Z's Black Album, this December 4th, that intro, and just hearing that beat, it just, everything changed from there. Like, I was kind of like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, what is this? I need to know more about this. And I just listened to the album like thoroughly, and I was just like, Mom, like, I'm gonna take the iPod now to school. I'm done with the fucking the CDs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's when the CDs were slowly dying at that point. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just started rocking that, like just bumping our iPod Nano, and just really strictly is bumping the Jay-Z Black Album. And from there, I feel like my interest into writing and stuff like that grew, and just wanting to know more about just hip hop, the culture itself. Yeah,
because I remember always seeing you with the set of headphones. Yeah, you're like always had headphones.
Bro. To this day, everyone that knows me is like, they always say like, if you see the pic in the headphones, like it's definitely me. If you see it from afar, you know what I mean. It's kind of like at this point, it's kind of just like a signature. Yeah, I feel that. So how long did it take you to make this? This album, I feel like, shit. I wanted to say like before COVID. Like I had the album finished. Yeah. Like, but it's not what it is now. Like all the songs, I feel like there's a few songs that weren't there prior. Like Run wasn't on there prior.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So it would have been a different album. It would have been different. Run wasn't on there prior. OTG wasn't on there prior. Honestly, after Zeitgeist, all those songs were on there prior. And then Run.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have to listen to it to understand that, but that is
you know
wild.
What I mean? So I feel like for me, like at the time, I'm thinking, because right before COVID hit, me and my group, like I have a clique that I run with, and we go by Wrong Crowd, and fam, like at the time we had just done it's like a small little festival type of thing. Like we organized like a 3-day event at this venue, and each day we had different artists come through, perform and stuff like that. It was fucking sick. And the last day it was crazy, like super dope night. I feel like anyone that was there, you definitely remember that, you know what I mean? And probably like a week after COVID hit, you know what I mean? Like a week or two. And prior to that, I was like already kind of finishing up the album. And I was like, yo, after the show, about to drop this album in a couple months, like it's over. Yeah. You know what I mean? And yeah, COVID hit, and then, you know what I mean, kind of went back into slumber, and just, you know, obviously, you know, you had all of us had so much time with ourselves. For sure. You know what I mean? And I had so much time with the music, and just gave me a bit more time to reflect and be like, how can I make this better? Because I'm not going to put it out in this time period. Like, I don't have a base like that, where it's just like people are wanting my music. And I feel like as artists that are coming up, I think sometimes we stress because we want to build that fan base. But I feel like the fact that we don't have that huge base yet, we have so much time for exploration. and just to try shit and really dive into whatever your artistry is.
Yeah, because you're not married to a sound yet, so you have the chance of kind of playing around. And
exactly, like people aren't hitting you up and going like, "Yo, I want this." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, but it's funny because I have a song called "Start," and like that was probably the first song I ever made that I feel like really caught on to like many people. It was like, "Yo, yeah, that dude that made that Start track," and I was like, "Oh yeah, for real." And from there, people will be like, "Yo, we need another one. We need another." And I'm just like, yeah, that's weird. Like to have that conversation with people going like, "Yo, we need another Start." Like, you know what I mean? And
what age did you make Start at?
That was on Make That Shit Bang, so that was like a few years ago.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was a few years ago.
Does that sound feel dated to you? Or does it still feel like it's still...
No, definitely not, man. I love Start. Like that's probably one of my favorite songs. I have another song called The Feel on there, and I feel like, again, when you listen to, if you go back and it's legit 4 songs. You know what I mean? If you go back and listen to those 4 songs, you can hear to some degree, not completely, but to some degree, the influence of like the just me building on what I already created with like my album prior, with Lowercase. And yeah, man, it was, I like all my music. Like, and I'm not saying
you
that
should.
No. Like, but I don't. It's not. But at the same time, I'm not egotistical to the point where I just feel like everything is perfect that I made. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have to move with some, I'm conscious of the fact that I'm still a student in this. You know what I mean? I feel like every artist needs to always remember they're still a student. So I definitely, like my first ever album auditions, like I listened to it, I'm like the mixing, but like at its core it's dope. At its core it's dope, and I feel like, you got to make sure at its core you're making art, and you know what I mean, you feel like you're representing something or you're pushing something.
Yeah, for sure. So the fact that this is even, you had this before COVID is crazy, because none of this sounds dated at all.
Yeah,
like not even a little bit. And even the fact that so when did you decide that, all right, it needs run, it needs on the go, it needs the rest of this? Just during COVID, kind of sitting with yourself?
Yeah, during COVID, man, I was freaking working overnight at this place, and I was just listening to the album, because since I was working overnight, I get to listen to music and shit. So just listening to the album over and over again, and I was just like, what am I missing? What does it need? You know what I mean? Like, when I feel like at the end of the day, every album is a story to some degree. 100%. And I feel like, I don't know how everybody like maneuvers with their music, but to me, like I like having certain albums that I look as a blueprint, to be like just to take pieces of what they did to be like, all right, I like that they did this, or I like how they, this song feels like a climax into the lower part of what's going on into the story. And I feel like sometimes a album might not have a story based on its lyrics, but it might have a story based on its feel.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
So, the goal for me was just like, how do I create that story, like with my lyrics and also with the feel? And I feel like Run helped with that, you know what I mean? Because I feel like, prior to that with Couch Psyche, I feel like it was so subtle with that song, and it was definitely very
Couch Psyche was not subtle at all, brother.
Like, I mean, like introspective in terms of its energy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure, but that track is heavy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just what you're talking about. I want to ask you about that too. Who's talking on that?
That's one of my brothers. Like, he's Rob, bro. He was one of my dogs. Like, he's one of the first people I started making music with, and you know what I mean. When I was ultimately, because all this is just, it's all from true events and real things that like happened to me. So there's a point I was like couch surfing and stuff of that nature. So he was one of those people that allowed me to stay at his house. You know what I mean? And it was an experience staying there. You know what I mean? And I kind of wanted to keep the essence of that feel and that truth in the story, and just having those conversations with him when I used to live with him. So yeah.
Yeah, and even the way he's talking to you, like that's true brotherhood right there.
Yeah,
I was saying like, yo, stop thinking like that, like shit like that. You're not. It's not self-serving to just speak to yourself in that way. Look at yourself in that way. You're not gonna grow. You're not gonna get to where you want to get.
Facts.
So
Facts.
yeah, no, 100%. That's. Yeah. But back to, so in that period when you were like couch surfing, were you still making music? Like, what was your mind?
Yeah,
at?
Bro, couldn't stop.
Perfect.
Couldn't stop, man. Yeah. I feel like, I was also like an asshole. I feel like at the time, because obviously, me couch surfing wasn't my decision. You know what I mean? It was not necessarily, it wasn't my decision, because it was my decision, but it wasn't something that I was happy about. You know what I mean? I wasn't like going to tell niggas, yeah, man, I'm out here couch surfing. Like, I'm on these couches. Like, it's lit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we out here. Like, we outside for real. You know what I mean? It wasn't one of those, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was embarrassed, but at the same time.
We outside for real is crazy.
Yeah, like, I was embarrassed, but at the same time, you know, it was, to me, for me, it was a rite of passage for me to like to grow up and be a man.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And to be by myself and, you know, really grow up and, you know, handle and deal with myself on my own, you know? And so with doing that, I was just, you know, music was the clarity of it all. You know what I mean? It helped me, it cleared my mind. It was obviously like just a way to express myself, you know what I mean? And instead of expressing myself in a way that can ultimately hurt myself or something like that, you know what I mean? And I feel like, you know, obviously we all know music and art is an expression, and it was an expression that I needed, especially at that time. So it was like, if I stopped doing it at that time, I probably would have been more fucked up if I, like, you know, instead of me, like, you know.
100%. So talk to me about what the process of actually making this was like. Because I was even hearing like a lot of live instrumentation on this too.
Yeah.
Like, was it on? I think it's You Know This.
Yeah.
Yo, that drummer was going crazy.
It's funny though. That's like sample drums though.
Why does it sound like it's live?
Because honestly, again, like for me, for example, like my biggest inspirations when it comes to music, I would say even production. I won't say everybody. Obviously, Jay-Z is one of them because from what I was saying, but Jay-Z, Kid Cudi, and Kanye.
Yeah,
and,
Kid Cudi, we heard that.
Yeah. Ye is nuts right now though, but shout out Ye.
I mean, listen, if you're born,
wilding out, but
if you're born, I feel like what 95,
Exactly.
everyone identifies with Cudi, right?
Exactly.
And it's like,
Yeah, man. So just with Ye and just like the production of it all, like I feel like, you know, I grew up when I grew up, like for me, the thing that got me like a huge Ye fan, I feel like was I ended up going to like Phoenix with my mom, and it was around the time when, you know, Curtis dropped, you know, Graduation dropped, and she was like, "Yo, what album you want?" And I was just like, fuck, man. I just chose Graduation because the album cover is just so sick. Shout out to Murakami. But the album cover was so sick, so I was like, let's get it. And I just remember playing Flashing Lights, driving, you know, in Phoenix, the desert, purple, blue, magenta skies on like the orange like rocks and shit like that, and it was just like, it felt like I was in a dream world, bro.
Yeah, that sounds like it, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I was just like, bro, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? And from there, like, I just feel like his production is just always on another level, from Devil in a New Dress to, you know what I mean? There's just songs where he just takes it to a degree where it just, it's magical, you know what I mean? In some ways, production-wise.
And it's so heartbreaking because look where he is today.
Fam, that's what I'm trying to tell
it's like, how do you deny this greatness, you know? So
it's crazy. It's like, I don't know, fam. It's like, I don't know if you guys ever seen this movie. I think it was called like Goat with what's that? Don Cheadle. He was like a ball player, and he basically ended up doing crack and shit like that. But like he was like GOAT level though. Yeah. Like he was like a small point guard, but he had hops for days, and then he ended up doing crack and all that, and it fucked up his whole career. It's like if that was Michael Jordan, like that's how it feels to me.
You're right though.
Seeing Ye on the stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, you know,
he did it to himself. He did it to himself.
You know, for sure.
You think he can come back from this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like it depends. It depends on what we're saying. What is a comeback?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the comeback? Because,
valid.
You know, like, is the comeback being, you know, that this man has, you know, one of the biggest sneakers in the world, you know, everyone's rocking it. Like, his music is top 5 every, you know, and arguably every time he puts out an album for some people. Like, I don't, each his own.
I think that okay, what he's saying obviously is crazy, but I don't think the talent's all the way gone.
No, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that he still has a good album in him. He can.
No, for sure.
That's the thing about Kanye, right? He can always give us some kind of greatness. But so more so into like how you made this album in terms of features.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How did you select them? Were they friends of yours?
Yeah, those are like, everybody on the album is a part of like the Wrong Crowd Collective I was talking about.
Fine.
You know what I mean? And every last one of those pieces of shits need to start making music. Please and thank you. Or put it out, because a lot of them have music. Like B, who is on You Know This, she has like, I've produced like 2 albums for her, like straight.
She's really talented,
fam. She's so talented, bro. She's so talented.
Why do artists do that? Just make a bunch of music and keep it.
And tell me about it. Oh shit. Yeah, nah, for real though, it's crazy, you know what I mean? But I feel like to some degree, like we're always expecting that right time to come. and it's just like that right time's not gonna come. You know,
And
what I mean?
yeah,
it
and
has
what-
to be created. Like you have to create that right time.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
it's almost like having a kid.
Yeah.
Have a kid right now if you're listening. But nah, it's
Don't
do it. But the other thing too is that they hold on to it for so long, and then they're like, oh, I don't even fucking like this anymore. I'm not putting it out. They're like, like people need this. People want this. Just like
For sure.
like Run. You know, when you made that, did you know? All right, this is one of the ones, or were you just
Yeah,
like, no,
for
I
sure.
like this?
No, for sure.
Yeah?
For sure. I'm like, I heard the beat. There's this kid. He's like from Lithuania or something. Shout out Off Person. He goes by Off Person. I don't know if he goes by that no more, but he just hit me up randomly. I guess he heard one of my songs and he's like, "Yo, you're hard, dog." Like, yo, da 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 da. Pause on that. You heard that. But yo, he's like, "Yo, you're sick." Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Yo, thank you, bro. Appreciate it." He's like, "Yo, I got beats," and he just kept sending me beats, like. And I was like, bro, like, all right, cool. He sent me a lot, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll check through them. And he's like, after I say I'll check through them, he's like, all right, cool, and he'll send me more. And I was just like, holy shit.
Gotta respect that
yeah.
work ethic.
And I was like, fuck it, all right, I'll really go through it right now. And
Yeah.
I found that one, and I was just like, yeah, nah, send me this one. Send me this one. You know what I mean? And I feel like for me, like, I guess everyone's process is different, but I just kept freestyling over it. And I had the chorus, please chorus, like, for a while on another song. And it didn't hit me, for example, like someone was like, yo, like, because I put the album out, I had shared it to a few people years ago. This is like during COVID.
Okay.
You know, a few people are like, yo, like, did you take that? You like, sounds like Drake, bro, back to back, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I didn't even realize I did that, to be honest, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like Jay-Z said, man, he made it a hot line, I made it a hot song, so it's all good. It's all, you know, it's what
Talk that talk.
you know what I mean? So I was just like, it's cool, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And like after making that, like shared it to a few people, and the people were just like, that this is the start, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, all right, cool, you know what I mean, whatever.
Nah, it's a really good song, and it's going a lot of places, right? I'm seeing you posting it. Like, I think Complex posted it, if I'm not mistaken, or some other large page.
A few places posted it. I just got on Rap Nation, and yeah, man, it's definitely one of the more moving songs right now, for sure. Definitely one of the more moving songs, and it's good to see, you know what I mean, obviously, because like I feel like every artist wants to see their success and wants to see that their dreams unfold and people listening to their music, right?
For sure.
You know,
how does that feel like when it gets posted on a place like Rap Nation?
It's dope, you know what I mean? It's surreal to some degree, because at the end of the day, like, you know, for everyone's different, but for me, like I produce all my songs, you know what I mean, except for Run's the only song I didn't produce.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So like for me, it's just like I really legit start by myself from nothing, and then I make this beat, and then I put my words on there, and you know what I mean, I might send the beat to my engineer Nate, that's who I work with, you know what I mean, he helps me out so much with so many different things, production wise and all that. And you know, it's just like starting from zero and creating a song that people are going to like, yo, I really love this song. It's so super dope to me, because it's not like I found the beat and da 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 da, and you know what I mean, like I really manufactured this, you know what I mean, and it's just like alchemy to it all, you know what I mean?
100%.
So it's a wild feeling. It's a wild feeling when people are like, this song means so much to me, or you know, or it gets posted anywhere, because you know, I really created it from the beginning, you know, from the ground up.
Yeah, you're creating that feeling that you got when you first listened to the J album.
Exactly.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Perfect. So in terms of where you record, you do a studio from home, or how does it work?
For the most part, it's always the studio. Like I said, my engineer Nate, he has a studio. He goes by Wave One Sounds, or One Wave Sounds. Sorry, bro. I'm trying to bless you that. But it's like Wave One or something like that. You know what I mean? And man, he's such a talented engineer, man. And you know, he helps me so much. And with this album, like I've done every album that I've made so far with him. You know what I mean? He's kind of like my guru to some degree. And with this album, though, I kind of just wanted to touch up the sound more. I wanted the sound more cleaner, and this, down, the third. I feel like me and him work so well creatively. Like we get the idea out, but I feel like I was just like, I want it to be more crisp and stuff like that. And I ended up getting in contact with this engineer Albie, and he's worked on some dope stuff with Chris Brown and Frig, even, you know, Pangs' track. And I mean, he worked with a lot of dope artists. You know what I mean? So. He cleaned it up, and I was like, yeah, we're ready to go. You know what I mean? We're ready to go.
Fire.
Yeah.
All right, talk to me a little bit about the storytelling on this album. So, first track already, we're here with the bombshell.
Yeah.
Your dad passed away.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
When was this?
So it's funny. I don't know when we're gonna get to how I know you, but ultimately, my father actually passed away when I was like 3 years old. You know what I mean? I never actually got to meet him.
Oh.
Yeah. I never got.
Sorry
to
hear that.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. You know what I mean? I never got to personally meet him, and obviously, this growing with that is an experience. But his family, my family, because he's from Memphis. So my family, I'm in Memphis. Like I used to go there all the time. After a while, like after I hit probably like 7 years old or so, I go there every summer, and you know what I mean, just soaking up the culture, just understanding my family, and stuff of that nature. And I feel like ultimately that's where the JJ came from, is just being around my family, especially the last time I went there. I was so much more older, so my family members are kind of like, let's make you meet everybody, like, because I was really meeting the primary people.
Yeah.
They're like, you're older now, let's meet, and people didn't even know I existed. You know what I mean? Some people are just like, yo, like James had a son, like that's crazy, like, yo, what's going on, and I remember
and
talking.
You're how old at this age?
I'm probably like 18.
Wow.
18 at the time, like,
Wow.
18, 17 at the time. And friggin', I remember on the phone with one of my aunties, and she lives in like friggin' Baton Rouge or something like that. And she was like, I got a call, and they're just like, yo, she wants to talk to you. And this girl was just on the phone crying, just being like, I'm so happy you're healthy, you're alive. And
Wow.
You know what I mean? And she's like, they tell me you look just like your dad, and you just look like his junior, and James, you didn't. So that's where the JJ stemmed from. It was just like that conversation when she just kept saying, you just look just like him, you're a junior, And it was just like, it was a weird feeling because, again, I don't know him, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it was a beautiful feeling because I felt connected to him in some type of way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like everybody to some degree want to be, whether you know that person or not, you want to be you want to have that connection with your parents or your family members or something like that. And, there was a duality feeling for me to be called that, and for that people to look at me and be like, you look just like him, Junior, James Junior, and ultimately that's where the JJ stemmed from, because originally I went by JJ, and the first J was lowercase, and the next J was uppercase. So it was really just the duality of being called that, you know what I mean, and leading to the duality of life and all that, rather dumb shit, trying to be deep. But
it is, and even now,
for sure,
lowercase being in all caps,
and then,
that's a nice little.
Yeah, and then my first album was like lowercase under the JJ name. You know what I mean, and the goal with it was to basically explain why the first J was lowercase in the first place. And then, like, as time continues and people start really just looking for my music, it was just like, yo, I cannot find JJ, bro. And it was just like, fuck, you know what I mean? And I was like, where do I go with this? Like, am I gonna change my name? And then I was like, boom, lowercase. Like, I already have the album. Like, it still correlates to the original name. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's such a colder name anyways, bro.
It's fucking fun.
You know what I mean? So, it just, everything just worked out organically, you know what I mean? And, shout out to the mans up above. They blessed me with that.
Yeah, nah.
It's like a Wakanda story in a way.
Right.
Real talk. Real talk. Yo,
It really is.
It's funny you say Wakanda, because I was about to say, talking about like growing up with you, dog. That's why I seen you in the hood. You was Wakanda in the hood, fam.
That's a fact.
Yo, you was Wakanda in the hood, bro. Like, I'm being dead ass at you, bro. Because, like, honestly, I grew up, like, most of my niggas there, like, man's like, it's West Indian, Caribbean and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? The kids were wild, you know what I mean? To put it lightly, you know what I mean? So to be around you and your family was very imperial, you know what I mean? Like, really imperial. Your pops was a pops, like meeting him, like going inside that house and you see him and just like, I'm not for play. Like, I'm a man, you know what I mean? Like, talk to me with respect. And it was one of those, it was like, shit, when you go in there, you kind of, all right, let me tighten up, let me fix up, you know what I mean? It's just like you're around some imperial people, and your mom was just so, they move with grace and shit, you know what I mean? And, like going inside your house was just like, it was definitely a different experience for me every time. You know what I mean? Like, for sure.
No, you're right. That's actually funny. I kind of forgot about that. But being honestly, one of the only African families in the block. Yeah. Because everybody else is like, like from the islands, or let's say we had the Haitian homies over there. Yeah. But like, it was definitely a different upbringing. For real. And even that thing about my pops, that's funny too, because other people would come over, like same thing, like, yo, like trying to fix up. Yeah. We had this one homie, shout out to Junior. He came over. He's Haitian. we're all watching a movie together. We're watching, I think it's Drumline.
Yeah, true.
Right, because that movie was popping back then.
Huge.
My pops got that on DVD, so we're all watching it.
The cannon was going nuts. No pun, because his nuts is going nuts too.
Nuts.
Holy, pause on all that. Actually. That was kind of nuts. Yo, I gotta stop saying nuts. So let's chill out on all that. That's crazy. Yeah. But Nick Cannon's a wild boy.
He's a wild boy. But so we're all sitting there as a family watching the movie, and then this one part was super crazy. I forgot what happened, but the character in the Cannon went crazy. It was good, like they were winning.
Yeah.
My boy Junior forgot where he was. Stood on the front of the TV. Let's go! That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Turned around, realized he's at our house. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, God, I'm so sorry. Everyone's looking at him like, yo, fam, relax. Like, you're good, you know. But just that thing in him of like, yo, I gotta act a certain way.
Exactly.
Like, I'm you know, the dad is here. And it's
Fam.
like, it's so crazy because my dad's the biggest joker ever. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, so yeah, it's just kind of funny to hear. But nah, man. Yeah, we go way back. Even some of the foods we'd make, people be like, yo, what does that smell? I'm like, here we go, fam.
Yeah.
Making Kwanga on the block, fam. It's not
Real
easy,
talk.
bro.
I remember pulling up. I don't remember what I ate one time, and you guys had me over, and I was just like, I don't know what the fuck this is. But, you know, mans are eating it. So
Yeah,
your dad's there just watching me like, yo, you're eating a yum? And your mom's just so polite. And I was just like, yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. You know what I mean? But, you know, it was an experience. It's definitely a culture shock, but it was a dope experience because I feel like you guys definitely, like, for me, was just a good example and look of like what a family is. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you guys are perfect or anything. I'm sure you guys probably have your issues.
Oh,
but
for sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely, I feel like it was definitely a culture shock. You guys moved real imperial, fam. You guys were really Wakanda in the hood, like dead ass. Like, yo, it's crazy when I think back on it. For real.
That's funny as hell. But this line I told you about before too, but this stood out to me. Elders downsize my dream because they downsized theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing I feel like every culture can kind of feel, right?
For
Especially
sure.
when you're pursuing something in the arts.
For sure.
They immediately push you with fear.
Exactly.
Saying, no. We need to get something that's guaranteed. We need to go after something that is, you know, the sure thing.
Exactly.
Right? Be a doctor. Be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Be something. Go get a job. Go to school. Have a job. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, you know what's crazy? I feel like all of us, you know, especially if your parents are immigrants, like, you know, it's always funny, you know, when you hear their stories and they tell you like, I had to come here and I had it. It's like, yo, you were a dreamer then. Like, where did that energy? Let that
sink in.
No, for real. Like, you had a dream and you pulled up. You're like, you're like, I applaud you for coming here and making something out of yourself here because. Again, you know, you're a dreamer at that point where you was just like, I'm gonna take this chance. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna build something. I'm gonna start a family. And it's just like, to some degree, after they kind of did that, they kind of lose that energy and that drive, that same drive that they used to get to the position that they got to. And it's just like the fact that then they have kids, or you know, and then they're telling them to do the exact opposite that they did to be successful to have us.
Yep.
It's just like, wait, what? You know what I mean? And then it's just like, I don't get it, you know? But at the same time, at the end of the day, like, I understand to the degree it's just like, it's security. They want security. They want you to be good. You know what I mean? But at the same time as well, I feel like, you know, they can't just completely forget the fact that they were dreamers once and they actually accomplished it. And if you were able to accomplish it and have me, you know, and start a family, it's just like, how can you not have that faith in me? Like, you are the blueprint to some degree. You know what I mean? So look at yourself as a blueprint. Don't look at yourself as the blueprint of failure. You know what I mean? Because I'm here, I'm breathing, I have the ability to do something amazing. You know, and you guys, like, you know, that wouldn't be a thing without you guys. You know, and I feel like they kind of lose that. You know what I mean? Again, because they get scared of the reality, the society. The society's wild, man. It's a wild world right now we're living in. But
no, it is.
You know, but at the same time, you know, the society in the world has always been wild. It's just that, you know, now we have screens to show it and this, down, the third. And, you know, I just feel like sometimes, you know, like I said, like they'll downsize their dreams because they downsize theirs because, you know, I guess they found complacency in whatever they were after, you know, they found complacency after accomplishing whatever dream. And it's just like, you can't then say, I need to be complacent or, you know, be complacent with myself to settle down on something I might not really want. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just one of those things where, you know, I feel like to some degree our parents kind of lose that child in them. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
And, you know, they forget that they're talking to their child.
And that's a huge thing culturally too, right? Kind of having to, I feel like nowadays we're more observant and we're kind of able to pinpoint those mistakes in our parents' behaviors. But culturally, that is a sin.
Yeah.
Where you're kind of telling your parents, wait, you kind of fucked up there, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, you fucked up because of this. Oh, you're doing this because of this.
Exactly.
Like, who the fuck do you think you are, nigga? You telling me about me?
Facts. It gets like that, especially when you get older and you're like really preeing them and like,
oh my God.
Okay, that was kind of shaky warrior movement, but all right, like, and you just, and you wanna say something, but at the same time they're your parents. You know what I mean? You want to have that respect, and if you do say something, then they're like, bro, I'm your parent, like, respect me, like, you know what I mean? And it's just like, to some degree, I'm just trying to point out the fact, it's just crazy. The more we get older, the more you realize how human they are, and then because that's when you start realizing your humanity. You know what I mean? And I feel like to some degree, if as a parent, if you're more vocal about how human you are and how flawed you are, it's easier for us to learn those things at an early age.
100%. And I feel like that's gonna make us better parents in the future.
Exactly.
Too, right?
You know what I mean?
So, yeah. Speaking of being better parents, let's talk about your partner, bro. I heard a couple bars in this project about hooking up with your ex and things of that nature. Let's talk about it.
This album was definitely to give them more clarity. This album is definitely like a time capsule. Really, like it's really like a lot of things that happened around the same time where I was just like, couch surfing and this, that, and the third. And
I'm gonna start using that excuse. Baby, it's a time capsule. A lot of things happen.
Nah, for real though, it's a time capsule. You know what I mean? And it was the experience was, at the time, especially like writing the songs and speaking on it, I was kind of wary because I mean, as an artist, I feel like some women, especially when if they date one another, they're always cracking jokes like, I'm not trying to be on no voice, no interlude or something like that. And it's like, some people really be doing that. It's nuts.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk about me on your episode.
Exactly. Yeah. You know.
I never heard that, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah,
or like, wondering like, oh, are you making music about me? What kind of music are you making about me? And it's just like, yo, don't look too deep into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, like, I'm just expressing myself and the music, just expressing myself and my truth. And again, this is more so a moment in time of my emotions. It isn't how I see you. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes they forget that. It's just like they listen to the song and say, you might be pissed off at the time and you might not put them in the best of light. But at the same time, the suck part, like the only part I understand is the song will live forever. You know what I mean? So it's just like, to that degree, though you're speaking in a moment in time, that moment in time lives forever for so many people. And if they know you and they know your partner, then it looks insane because they're looking at you like, yo, so what happened, fam? Like, what's going on? What's the situation? And you know what I mean? But with this stuff, it was, like with the YKT, it was just like, just me just being self-aware of myself and trying my best to really be honest and have that honest conversation about like who I am and my flaws. And I feel like to some degree just being like, yo, like I am, like, I'm not saying I'm not perfect as an excuse, but I'm not perfect. And you know what I mean? I've never done nothing nuts in a relationship. Like I've never, like, personally, I'm not infidelity and all that.
Yeah, no.
I've never done anything. All right. You too?
Me too.
Yeah? Okay. All right. You know what I mean? So I've never done anything like that. And I wouldn't want to put a woman in that predicament. And so it's just like, I mean, obviously there's still other ways to hurt women, but like, you know what I mean? Nothing I do is ever intentional. I really mean that, and it was just like, this is to point out like, yeah, man, like I'm trying here, but at the same time, I deal with all these things, you know what I mean? And it does fuck up how I view things, how I maneuver in this relationship. And then the numb nights, for the most part, is just, and like,
listen, man, it happens.
Yeah, it happens. You know what I mean? Like you get called at the wrong time or the right time or the wrong time, and you're just like, it works. You know what I mean? You might be like, shit, like you might get some flashbacks and be like, what, I might have to run this back. You know what I mean? Feeling like MJ and Pip, you know what I mean? And just put out the rod, men. And that was a bar.
I peeped that.
But nah, you know what I mean? You gotta, and sometimes you want to run it back, and it's funny. Sometimes when you run it back, it's either like it was like, okay, this was cool, or you're just like, I'm not gonna do this again, And with the Numb Night song, I feel like it was just really me talking at a place where I was just so just numb and emotionally, and just my feeling of like the things I was doing at the time and how I was maneuvering on road and shit like that, and like just needing that, like having that experience with like a woman or stuff like that, or somebody that I used to care about, just being a escape of it all, you know, to some degree. And sorry, I have to end up using. I'm not. Yeah.
No, it's part of your life. You have to talk about what else you gonna do, right?
For sure.
Since we're here, you had a question at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you. So you got like episodes with, I've assumed, I wanted to believe, I'm sure, it was your partner at the time. Yes. I was curious, like, you ever run those back and sit back and just like, damn, like, look at the connection, like,
that's rough. But you know what's crazy? Some people were doing that. Not me, because I saw Spikes.
Yeah.
And like after the announcement was made about the breakup,
Somebody's gonna lie, man.
people going back and like rewatching episodes we did together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, bro. Like, but then again, I'm not thinking that they're looking at like, see, I saw flaws.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of just looking back like, oh, damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
In terms of if I'm able to do it, I don't know. I think that someone's like cutting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's rough. It's not an easy thing. I'm still going through it a little bit, but.
Sorry,
yeah,
bro.
man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
You'll make it, bro.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm gonna be alright.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be alright.
You'll be alright.
But it's one of those things. That's just
fuck through the pan, man. Just fuck through the pan.
I don't know anything about that, but
It's cap. I'm joking. I don't do that either. I'm just putting it out there.
We're good, man. But yeah, it's one of those
sure.
things where you just like, you know, for every guy, you always have that haunting feeling of like, was that the one that I fucked it up with?
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
For
Not
sure.
to say that I fucked it up or that she fucked it up, but I'm just saying like, you don't want to be there. Fast forward X amount of years, like, oh, you had it right.
Yeah.
You just had to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And now you're here.
100%.
It's like, fuck.
No,
so that's the kind of thing that's in the back of your mind of like,
Definitely feel that.
I don't want that to be the case. But
Definitely feel that. I'm in the same boat.
yeah, eh?
Same boat, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel
Still love, baby.
yeah.
Still love.
So when you and your ex broke up, was there any bad blood, or was it just more of like a?
No. I mean, my ex that now is not the person I'm talking about in this music at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm being dead ass. Like, you know what I mean? It's not the person, but in terms of like, yeah, my present ex, like, yeah, no, we're cool. We split on, for the most part, pretty cordial, and you know, we're still cool to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I respect and appreciate her.
Yeah,
You know?
I feel the same way. Does that haunt you at all though? In terms of like, oh fuck, like we had a good thing. Did I fuck it up?
Did I fuck it up? That definitely will cross my mind sometimes because, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, you have times where you're sitting with yourself, you know, and you're really just like analyzing those experiences, and you know, you want to ask yourself like, yeah, did I fuck it up? Like, did I, you know? But I feel like for me, like to some degree, also depends on what your values and morals is when it comes to a relationship. You know what I mean? And 100%. I feel like if it's just like there's a specific thing that you deemed or carried important and just, I guess, wasn't falling into line with you, then, and you wanted to split from that, then you wanted to split from that. Not to say that it, you know, I feel like ultimately relationships are work, right?
100%.
You know, and it takes a lot of work, and I think maybe in that aspect, that's when I feel like like, did I fuck up in terms of like stopping the work? You know what I mean? More than anything, you know what I mean? Because like, yeah, but I try my best not to dwell on those things, because at the end of the day, it's just like, you know, I leave it up to the world to continue to guide me through this life. You know what I mean? And
I feel that.
I feel like everyone we meet, you know, woman, whatever the case may be, all those experiences, you just gotta appreciate them and be grateful. Yeah. You know, I'm grateful for all women, black women. We love you. We love you. Yeah, for sure. In solidarity, Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Shit. Oh, that's it. Yeah. Wakanda forever, for real.
All right, I had one more question here. So, musical influences. Obviously, you can hear the Cudi influence on Clarity. That brought joy to my heart, only because of how much I love Cudi. So,
okay, gotcha.
Did you have to get clearance on that, or are you good?
Nah, I didn't do that. I mean, hey, ultimately, if I catch that suing, then that means I'm doing something right.
That's you know? That's what I was thinking about too. Like, oh damn, if it gets to those ears, it's a win.
Exactly. If you know what I mean, it might not be a financial win at the time, but if it gets to those ears, that means that I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? No. But no, I definitely didn't get that clearance. But you know, hopefully, I don't get caught with that any situations.
Cease and desist, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Nah, you should be fine. But no, so we're approaching the last segment. The last segment is, silly shit.
Okay.
Where, I mean, you've seen the clips, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's what we asked.
sure.
But before we do that, we actually take a shot to open up the segment. So,
Goddamn, 47.
appreciate you, fam.
Damn, 47. The cast of Fricos.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's better tequilas out here than Casamigos. Yo, I don't like that. You know what I mean? George Clooney got y'all sipping on this juice.
I know, but listen.
Real talk. George Clooney got y'all for real, man.
George Clooney's at the house rolling in it.
Got the houses going nuts for the Casamigos. Like, I remember, seeing that, and I seen they had his head, beside the bottle and shit. Now they don't even use him to promote it. Like, the shit promotes itself. It's crazy. It's crazy. For real.
So what's your favorite tequila?
It's funny, I'm not a huge tequila drinker, so I feel like, but I've tried so many. I feel like, there's this really nice, old age, Jose Cuervo that wasn't too bad, but it's pretty expensive.
I'm sure, yeah, because Jose Cuervo is pretty common.
Yeah.
So.
But you know what I like? I like Blanco Don Julio. I think that is one of the smoothest tequilas I ever tried in my life.
Okay.
I don't know.
You said
The
not
Blanco.
I don't like Patron.
I don't like Patron at all. So I think the Don Julio Blanco is so smooth, bro.
I gotta try Don Julio.
Yeah, for sure. I remember Don Julio had a wave for a quick second, but it died out. So yeah.
Well, anyway, so silly shit.
Cheers to you.
Cheers, man. Didn't want to do that.
Shout out George Clooney.
Shout out George Clooney.
So
So, silly shit. Would you rather drink a pint of your worst enemy's pee while they look you in the eye,
ooh, the eye part's nuts.
or eat a bowl of your own shit while everyone you've ever dated watches you? This is listener submitted again, which is why this question's kind of crazy.
This is submitted.
Yeah, listener submitted.
You guys are crazy. Diabolical type. That's crazy. Shit. Eat a shit or drink a piss.
The way I'm looking at it, option 2, where I'm eating my shit in front of past lovers, I'm like, that's you're committing. There's no way you're gonna live after eating a bowl of shit.
Yeah.
So,
Is it a bowl or is it a tablespoon?
bowl.
Yeah, that's
taking
nuts.
one bite.
But at the same time,
You're taking one bite?
No.
Okay, I was like, that's nuts.
Going up before you.
Yeah, no, man. Oh God.
yeah, I don't know if I want to eat doo doo. I mean, it's mine. It's mine, so it's not that bad, but.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
And
I'm
also,
not
these
trying
are past lovers. Like, they might look at you insane, but if they really cared about you, you know what I mean? They might be like,
Let me take a spoon. You know what I mean?
maybe if they take a spoon, or they just be empathetic, you know what I mean? Be like,
Yeah.
yo, I see what you're doing. This is fucked up, but I'm joking. They would never think like that.
No, I honestly, to me, the past lovers thing, I don't really care. I don't care if there's an audience there or not.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to drink somebody else's pee.
That's what I'm
bro.
saying. Especially with my enemy, a person I do not respect.
And it's a pint.
That's what I'm saying. A pint is I just drank a pint yesterday of fucking Sapporo. I'm not trying to drink no piss of that.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot.
That's a lot,
Like,
bro.
Fuck.
Yeah, no. I might have, but it's my shit.
That's what I'm saying.
It's my shit. So you know what? I'll take my shit. Cause I like to deal with my shit. I deal with my shit, man. I deal with my shit. I'm not fam, I rather.
Yeah. What if your worst enemy is a baddie?
Oh, so if it's a woman, I mean,
You're drinking pee, you nasty man.
he's a wild boy.
I knew it. I was trying to see who was gonna say something.
A wild man, dog. Yeah, nah, I couldn't do that. Nah, worst case Ontario, I couldn't do that. Nah, worst case Ontario, that would be terrible. Yeah, you guys are lucky I'm not pulling out the plethora of lingo, but yeah, nah. Worst case Ontario, I'm eating the shit though.
You eating the shit?
Yeah, worst case Ontario, I'm eating the shit. I can't drink no pint of anybody I don't respect and then look them in the eyes. It would hurt me. It would hurt me.
I just feel like the pee would not affect your stomach as much as the shit would. Whereas the shit
right.
would have you in the hospital for some time.
You're right. You're right. I feel like now that I say, now you're putting it out there.
I know. I'm really thinking about
shit,
this
the shit sounds nuts that I agreed that I'll eat the shit. And I'm like, because you're right. My stomach might do some real gymnastics, backflips. Holy, that would nah. You know what? Fuck it. I'll drink the piss.
Drink the piss.
I'll drink the piss.
I think I might do that too. To be honest.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my
a whole bowl is a lot.
A bowl is.
But it
nuts.
really depends on the size. We got to be specific. You know what I mean? Like
a bowl with just a log in it is crazy.
a bowl with a log in it is crazy, bro. Yeah, nah. You know, I'll drink the piss. I'll
I
do the piss.
want to go with the piss. I want to go with the piss. From being honest,
Yeah,
I'm doing the piss.
I might have to hold down the piss. Worst case on tear. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But it's been another episode of Trend My Podcast. Thank you for coming on. Anything you wanted to plug or even ask? I know you have something coming up too that you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Please speak about that.
Yeah, man. First, I want to say thank you for having me, bro. Like, again, as
Anytime.
a person that's watched this podcast, you know what I'm saying, it's good to be a part of it and see you guys set up and do your thing, man. And I wish you guys more success.
Thank you.
In terms of myself, right now, just more content for the album, more videos, more visuals. Right now, me and my boy Self, who's on Numb Nights. We're working on a joint project as well, coming out possibly sometime in the summer.
Nice.
Hopefully, but that's in terms of music. But I got a show coming out in February 12th, 2023. Just to give everybody the exact date. February 12th at the Drake Hotel. You can get tickets right now. It's available. So get your tickets.
Yeah, the link will be in the bio. Send me that. I'll put that in.
Say less. Yeah, man. Get your tickets. It's gonna be a great show. And yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I haven't really performed since that month's end show that I was telling you about during COVID. You know what I mean?
We're gonna be there. What day of the week is it?
It's gonna be a Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah, we're blessed.
Yeah. So it's gonna be dope, man. It's dope. I can't wait to run the circuit. That's what I'm gonna call it now, from start to run. I gotta finish the circuit with another third song, but that's in the future.
Perfect.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be up.
Well, this is an amazing episode. I really enjoyed it. You're welcome on the podcast anytime. Again, you want anything you plug, you want to just kick it,
Appreciate
let
it.
me know. We'll make it happen. But
Thank you, bro.
like I said, it's another episode of My Podcast. If you have any questions or anything you want to send in, rotmpodcast@gmail.com. Please do keep sending me those questions via Instagram. I'm
Wild
open to
people.
any of them.
Fix your life.
There's one listener in particular. He's the one that's on fire. He's the one that's been coming with me with that fire.
He needs to get his life right. Get your life right, King.
He's a wild boy.
He's a wild boy. God damn,
Listen,
47.
all the links are going to be in the bio. Thanks again. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We out. Boom.